Hey everyone, how are you guys today? Today we're going to see how to use verb to be in Portuguese. Ser and estar, how you can use this in Portuguese. This is a live session, so hey everyone, how are you guys today? Hey Ellen, hey Dr. Paul, hey Nadia, hey Salvatore, hey Bruno, hey everyone, how are you guys this afternoon? We're going to see a lot of things about verb to be today. Just let me know if you can hear me well and see me well because we are about to start this session. Hey Hannah, how are you? So it does seem that you guys can hear me well, so that's great. I know that you have studied verb to be, and this is something basic that you kind of every time that you start learning a new language, this is one of the first things that you study. I know that. But do you really understand how to use verb to be? That's my question. If you do, that's great. If you don't, this class is for you. So let's start. Let's start. Let's go directly to the class that I have to give to you. And if you have any question in the middle of this class, just leave here on Instagram as a comment or on YouTube. I'll be answering any question that you may have about verb to be or maybe any other random thing that you have in mind. Sounds good? Let's start. So, what do we have here? Verb to be. And the question of this session was, is the same ser and estar is exactly the same or is different? What do you think? Just think. We have two verbs for the verb to be in Portuguese. Is the same, is different, and my color is looking a little bit weird. I don't know why it does look like this, but okay, that's fine. So, to answer the question, no, it's not the same. The verb to be in Portuguese is not the same. Probably you know that, you have studied before. What you need to understand when you're using verb to be. The first thing is that ser is for permanent situations. I know you know that. You have studied Portuguese. Don't worry. We're going to see differences and things that are more specific. Just first to introduce the topic. Hey, Ellen, different, but I don't know why. Huh, okay. So, Ellen, verb to be in Portuguese, ser and estar, they are different. Ser is for permanent situation. For example, I'm American, I'm Brazilian, we're going also to see special cases when I say, for example, I'm married, I'm a doctor, I'm a professor, situations that sound a little bit permanent. I'm going to use sich. And situations that are temporary, I'm going to use estar. What is temporary, for example? Instead of I am American, I'm Brazilian, something that is permanent, that will not change, I could say it, I'm in Brazil. So my location can change anytime. I am eating rice. This can also change. I was traveling. Again, this is not a permanent situation. So in all these situations, we're going to use the temporary verb and not the permanent one. We're going to start with kind of the boring part. What is the boring part? It's kind of the conjugations, because you need to know I am, you are, he is, she is, right? You need to know that. And I know this is boring, but you need to know that, guys. I'm sorry, but there's no other way besides knowing first a little bit of grammar and then we start speaking using this that we have learned. Sounds good? So let's do exactly this. So, the first example that we have here for permanent, eu sou brasileiro, right? So already know, eu sou brasileiro, I'm Brazilian. What else we have? Eu sou médico, pronounce with me. Eu sou médico. I'm a doctor. And then, eu sou amigável. Eu sou amigável. I'm friendly, friendly, amigável. So, permanent situations. Then, if you say, for example, guys, instead of eu sou amigável, I am friendly, you say eu estou amigável, using the temporary verb. You're kind of saying that you are friendly right now in this specific situation, but doesn't mean that you are friendly all the time. So be careful the one that you use. If you're friendly all the time, you're always friendly, you're going to use the permanent one. Using temporary verbs. Hoje está calor. So today is hot, the weather. Eu estou no Brasil. I'm in Brazil. And then the last one. Eu estou estudando. I'm studying. We're going to see this, that all the verbs in English that you guys use is studying, working, traveling, sleeping, watching, these ing verbs in English, how you can use them in Portuguese as well, combined with the verb to be. So we're going to see a lot of things today. So stay tuned. Okay, now, what you guys are seeing, the conjugations. So we have seen eu sou, você, ele, ela é, nós somos, vocês, eles, elas são. This pronunciation here is challenging, I know, so try to pronounce with me. São, são, são. Vocês são felizes. Eles são americanos. Elas são amigáveis. And then the temporary conjugation. Eu estou. Você está. Nós estamos. Vocês estão. Sounds good? So basically, for Ellen, you ask the difference between them. We have different conjugations, and the meaning is not the same. This is the first thing that you need to understand. So, if you try to say, for example, I am traveling. I am traveling. How would say that? I am traveling. Would you use permanent or temporary? Just leave here in the chat. This is a live session, so I need your interaction here to make this class better. How would say it? I am traveling in Portuguese. I am is on the screen. You just need to choose one, permanent or temporary. And then traveling. How would say traveling? Maybe you don't know that, but let's see. Is this permanent? Is this temporary? Ellen, temporary. That's it. It is temporary. So, I am traveling is eu estou viajando, traveling. We're going to see this second part, the verb, the ing, later. But what we need to understand here, permanent, temporary. That's it. Eu estou viajando. That's it. Nadia. Ellen, eu estou. That's it. Pretty good, pretty good. So, moving forward, what we're going to see. This guy is a doctor. How would say it? He is a doctor. And the most important thing here, do you think this is permanent or temporary? Permanent or temporary? This is what you need to know first. Is this a permanent situation or a temporary situation? He's a doctor, or I am a doctor. And this could not be intuitive, but when you're talking about professions, maybe you were thinking, okay, but I can change my profession. I could become, I don't know, an engineer, a lawyer. You could, but to talk about professions in Portuguese, your role, the job that you have, you're going to use permanent, even if it's not. So Ellen, that's it. Ele é médico. He is a doctor. What about I am a doctor? Eu sou médico. So far, easy, right? I'm American. Again, not hard. So we can go a little bit faster in this part. Eu sou americano. Again, permanent. What about this one? He's in New York. I'm in New York. Is temporary, permanent? What do you think? This could be tricky when you're speaking. I know that now you're seeing on the screen, it's maybe easy, but when you're in a conversation, to remember that is a little bit harder. So, what do you think? Temporary, permanent? He's in New York, I'm in New York. When you're talking about the location that you are, we're going to use temporary. So, eu estou em Nova York. That's it, Tiffany. Eu estou em Nova York. Sounds good? This is just introduction. If you have studied Portuguese, probably you have seen this. So this is not something new to you. What about this one? What she's doing? Is she writing? Is she studying? How to say she is studying? She's studying. She's studying. How to say that? Is this permanent, temporary? It is temporary. She is studying would be, here on the screen you have I am studying. Eu estou estudando. She is studying. How would you say that? Ela, let's go back. Ela está. Aha. Tiffany, this one here is temporary. So instead of ela é estudando, you would have to say ela está estudando. Aha. This one will be temporary. And this is very common in Portuguese, a mistake that you can make when you confuse permanent with temporary. That's fine. But every time I put emphasis on this now, every time that you're using temporary verb to be in Portuguese, eu estou, and the verb studying, working, traveling, you're going to be using this present continuous in English. I am traveling, I'm working, right? So, eu estou estudando. I am studying, she's studying, ela está estudando. And now it's becoming interesting because the first thing that you need to understand is that ser is for permanent verbs. That's fine. Estar for temporary situations, right? Ser, permanent, estar, temporary. Now, we're going to see how to combine estar, temporary situations, with the verbs. The ing English verbs. For example, working, traveling, thinking, studying, sleeping. How are you going to do that? Any guess? Aha. So, take a look at the verb. We have amar, comer, assistir. I always use these verbs because they're regular, but amar is to love, comer to eat, and assistir to watch. If I want to use loving, eating, watching, I just need to remove the R. I'm going to remove the R. I'm going to replace the R by NDO. NDO. So instead of amar, love, amando, loving. And you're going to do this with all the regular verbs. So how you would say it, I am loving. I need you to leave this in the chat. I am loving this day. I'm loving this day. I'm loving this job. I'm loving this new TV show. Anything. Just leave something here as a comment. And if you interact, you're going to learn more. And this is true. You're going to remember. It will be easier to remember when you write, when you speak. If you can speak with me, that would be great. So, I am loving. How would you say that in Portuguese? You have all the information on the screen. Eu estou amando. And also be careful with the pronunciation here, guys. Amando. Amando. That's it, Ellen. Eu estou amando. Amando. Aha. Eu estou amando este dia. I'm loving just this day. What about I'm eating vegetables? I'm eating vegetables. How to say that? I am eating vegetables. Daniela, eu estou amando. Great. Hey Sabrina, what's up? How are you? So, how would you say it? I'm eating vegetables. Any idea? I am eating vegetables. You have kind of all the information that you need on the screen. You only don't have vocabulary. How to say vegetables in Portuguese? Eu estou comendo vegetais. Vegetais. That will be vegetables. Vegetais. And the last one, I'm watching a movie. Eu estou assistindo filme. So far, so good. Eu estou comendo vegetais. That's it, Ellen. Pretty good. Pretty good. Eu estou comendo legumes. That's also an option. Hannah. Legumes. If you ask me, I really don't know the difference between a legume and a vegetal. But there is a difference. But you could use any of them. Legumes or vegetais. Best class ever. Thank you. So, guys, just guys, focus now. What you have seen. You need to know that just this. Ser for permanent situations, estar for temporary situations. This is the first thing that you need to remember, and this is the most important thing about what you're going to see today. Just this. As soon as you learn this, that ser is for permanent situations and estar for temporary, you're going to see that you can combine estar with these verbs, amar, comer, assistir, and using the present continuous in English. I am traveling this week. I'm studying Portuguese. And the next step would be to start combining this with the present that maybe you already know, maybe you don't. But if you don't know yet how to use verbs in the present, I recommend you to study because you'll be able to combine these two verbs. Let's go back to me just for a second. For example, if you learn this verb to be temporary, and you use with the ing verbs. For example, I am traveling this week. The next step would be to combine this kind of sentence with the regular present. For example, I am traveling this week because I have time. I have time is present. Sounds good? I am studying Portuguese because I want to travel to Brazil. Again, I am traveling to Brazil because I'm learning Portuguese. I'm studying Portuguese because I want to travel to Brazil. So you'll be able to create more complex sentences. So take this that I'm giving to you, ser, estar, and then estar plus ing verbs in Portuguese. And you'll be able to start creating sentences, real sentences, instead of just the cat is flying, the weird things that you can find in a few apps. Sounds good? Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, guys. Boa noite, Angélica. Good night. Hey, Karma. Hey, Chirera. This name is hard to pronounce. Are we good so far? Let's go back there. Let's go back there. And let's see if you guys can give me these sentences. So, instead of I drink coffee, how would you say it? I am drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee. How would you say that? I'm drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee. You kind of have all the answers. You have seen everything today. You just need vocabulary. Hey Karma, tudo bem? Beleza? Hey Patricia, hey Planet, Benjamin. So, I am, temporary one. Eu estou drinking. Aha. To drink is beber. So I just need to convert beber into bebendo. Instead of beber, the ER will become endo at the end. So I am drinking. Eu estou bebendo café. That's it, Ellen. That's correct. Eu estou bebendo café. I'm drinking coffee. And now it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to combine this with present if you already studied before. If you have studied before. So I'm drinking coffee because I am tired. So we're using verb to be in both. The first sentence you use in the temporary one, I'm drinking coffee. So this is a temporary situation because I am tired. And this is also, I am tired, also temporary. So we're combining two temporary situations and not a permanent one. Eu estou tomando café, that's it, karma, because I'm tired. We need to start creating more complex sentences, guys. When you're studying Portuguese, this is my recommendation. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm American, my name is Bruno, hi, good night, start to kind of understand the structure and you start to be able to start creating more complex sentences. I'm drinking coffee because I'm tired. That's it. It's not a lot, but you're just using verb to be. Karma, eu estou bebendo café porque estou cansado. That's great. And if you're not a guy, not I cannot see it, not sure. Yeah, you're not a guy. So you should use cansada, right? The gender would change depending on who is talking to. So eu estou bebendo café porque eu estou cansada. Aha. Do you know why tomando or bebendo, tomar and beber, when you're talking about drinking stuff, is exactly the same. So estou tomando café, estou bebendo café is exactly the same. In my recommendation, learn one and use it correctly. You don't need to learn two, three, four, five different verbs that are with the same meaning. Learn one and use it. Pretty good, pretty good. Let's move forward. You guys are doing great. So, what else we have? Eu estou bebendo café. Pretty good. I am eating. We have seen this today, so we can do it faster. Eu estou comendo because I'm hungry. So again, we can make this a little bit more complex. You can create a bigger sentence. I am eating because I'm hungry. Eu estou comendo porque eu estou com fome. That will be hungry. Eu estou com fome. So far, so good. Okay. What about taking a shower? I'm taking a shower. I'm taking a shower. And this one we could combine with a different tense. I'm taking a shower because I want to relax. I'm taking a shower because I'm going to the gym later. I'm taking a shower because I'm going to work later. So that's what I recommend to you. When you study in one tense, try to combine with the other one that you already know. So if you know two tenses, present and present continue, you can combine them, create a lot of sentences, and it will be more natural when you're speaking. Aha. Eu estou comendo porque eu estou com fome. That's great, Ellen. That's it. Aha. I'm eating because I'm hungry. Pretty good, pretty good. And I'm taking a shower because I want to relax. Eu estou tomando banho. Tomando, here, taking will be tomando. So let me just share my screen again. Eu estou tomando banho because I want to relax. Porque eu quero relaxar. Relaxar. Sounds good? Then, what do we have? I'm working. I think you understood what I'm trying to say to you. I'm working. Eu estou trabalhando. I am working. Eu estou trabalhando. And again, guys, again, great opportunity to use other tenses. I'm working because I need money. I'm working because I'm going to travel to Brazil. I'm working because last week I was on vacation. So always, 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 always try to combine different tenses when you're studying. Otherwise, you're just studying grammar. But what you want is to speak Portuguese, right? So please do that. Patricia is saying, congrats for the content. Uh-huh. Obrigado, Patricia. Thank you. Hey, Hamilton, how are you? If you use this that you have seen today, you'll be able to use the verb to be in most of the situations, and also the present continue. In around 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, around 20 minutes, you learn this. But you need to apply, because if you don't use it, I would say that in maybe 48 hours, not going to remember anything that you have seen in this class. Let's go back there. We still have, I think, one more thing that I want to show you. Because as I mentioned, there are a few things that are not intuitive. For example, when I talk about my profession, that's not intuitive, that is permanent. You need to study to know that. Because my profession, it's like I'm a doctor, I'm a professor. This could sound like something permanent or not, right? So we have special cases when you need to use one thing or you need to use the other thing. Let's see this. And if you want to know more, just leave your question as a comment on this video on YouTube. If you're watching this on Instagram, we are also live on YouTube. So you can watch this in a bigger screen. It's easier to read. I'm trying to kind of accommodate everyone on YouTube, on Instagram. But if you have questions after this class, leave as a comment on YouTube. But let's see the special cases here that we have on YouTube. So when I'm talking about the ownership, so aquele carro é meu, I'm using permanent to talk about something that is mine. So that car is mine. That car is mine. I'm using permanent. To talk about ownership, we're going to use ser. Even if this sounds like temporary, sometimes you're going to use permanent conjugation. What else? Expressions, on-person expressions. For example, it's important to study Portuguese. It's important to, I don't know, invest in education. It's important to exercise. It's important to study grammar. All these sentences you're going to use permanent. So it's important to do this. It's important to do that. You're going to use also the permanent conjugation é. Sounds good? I don't see any questions, so I hope it's clear to you. I have two more cases to show you. So, estado civil is basically if you're married, if you're single. This, most of the time, you could use both permanent and temporary. But my recommendation, pick one and use it. So I would recommend to use the permanent one. I'm married, you can use permanent, and you should use permanent, right? You don't marry thinking about, I don't know, a divorce. So I am married, I am single, could be permanent. Most of the time, I would recommend you to use permanent in these situations. And what else we have? Your profession that I mentioned before is also a special case that maybe is not that intuitive, but you can also use, and here you have to use, you must use the permanent one. Sounds good? And the last, this is the last one, about the time. So this is one that is not intuitive at all. When I say, for example, it's 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. Is this sounds like something temporary, but it is permanent in Portuguese. So when you're talking about the time, it's 2 p.m., it's 3 p.m., you're going to always use the permanent conjugation. Sounds good? And one thing that is very interesting about the temporary verb, estar, when you are dead, you're dead, you're going to use a temporary verb. So for some reason, we're not using the permanent one to say, I'm dead, you are dead, he is dead. We're going to use the temporary one. So, ele está morto. For some reason, we don't use the permanent one in this situation. And that's what you need. That's all you need to remember from this class. Just a quick recap if you jumped in right now. So, what you need to remember, ser for permanent situations, estar for temporary situations, sorry. And then you need to know that we can combine estar, that is temporary, with ing verbs in English to use the present continuous. I'm eating, I'm loving, I'm traveling, I'm watching. And by doing this, I would also recommend to combine with different tenses when you're studying. So combine this with future, combine this with present, combine this with past. Try to always combine multiple tenses when you're studying Portuguese. And now, guys, it's time for questions. Do you have any question in mind? Anything that you would like to ask about Portuguese that is not clear? I would be happy to help you out. So I'll stay here for more 3 minutes. Let's see if you guys have anything in mind. If not, I would ask you to leave. Uh, if you're on YouTube, I have two screens right here. If you are on YouTube, leave a comment with your question, and this live will be available. This live will be available for 7 days, 1 week. So you have 1 week to watch this live, to watch again, and learn this and start applying. The live that I did last week about will and would, if you want to learn future, will, would, go there to YouTube, click on the channel, is here on my bio on Instagram. There, you'll be able to learn will and would and the difference when to use the pronunciation, because that video would not be available anymore in 24 hours. So this live that I'm doing, you'll be able to watch for free for 7 days. Is enough time. And the goal is to motivate you. So kind of you study, and next week you have another class. Next week you have another class. If you start combining everything that you're seeing, you'll be able to speak Portuguese in no time. Just don't stop. Keep studying, because I know it's challenging to learn Portuguese. Hey Mary, thank you. Thanks for watching. Obrigado por assistir. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. So what you should do now, go there to YouTube channel and learn will and would and start combining with this. For example, I'm studying Portuguese because I'm going to travel to Brazil. Start combining the class that you have seen last week with this one. You have 24 hours to watch the other one and 7 days to watch this. Sounds good? I don't see any questions, so I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for your time. Try to rest, drink water, be safe, and that's it. Thank you so much. Take care. Thank you, guys. See you. Let me end this live first on Instagram. Just give me 1 second. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now I can end this on YouTube as well. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Thank you, Hannah. See you soon.